Ready? Yeah. This is Hamilton Rodriguez, and you're tuned in to The Outsiders. Welcome. The new podcast here by yours truly, Hamilton Rodriguez, every Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. We started a little bit late today because we're having a little technical difficulties getting set up. But want to start off with a little story. On January 2025, the U.S. Supreme Court made a historical and controversial decision upholding the law that banned TikTok unless the platform was sold to non-Chinese owners. The court rejected TikTok's argument that the ban violated First Amendment rights, a move that critics say sets a dangerous precedent for government censorship and the future of free expression online. Now, with the social media landscape fundamentally changed, we have to ask, where does the line get drawn between protecting national security and regulating online speech? What does this mean for the future of social media platforms and the voices they host? Today, we're going to be here to talk about free speech, and we're going to talk about, the controversies involved with free speech. We're going to talk about both sides of the spectrum, the liberal side and the conservative side. It's going to be fun, and I want to break things down as far as what free speeches consist of. And what does it mean? Well, let's talk about the history of freedom of speech. The First Amendment states that the Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech and protects the rights to express opinions, ideas, and information without governmental interference. It was ratified on December 15th, 1791 as part of the Bill of Rights to limit the federal government's power following concerns raised during the Constitution's ratification process. The protection extends to written and spoken words as well as symbolic acts like protests, but does not cover certain categories of unprotected speech as true threats or obscenity. Interesting, quite interesting. So what does this all mean? Basically speaking, it's your right to express your ideas. You have the right, it's the liberty of voice opinions and beliefs without fear of government censorship and punishment. Various types of expressions, such as spoken words, it covers symbolic acts, art, protests, and digital communication. Okay? And this protects controversial ideas. This is America, people. We all have controversial ideas. We have a right to our opinion. You can't wake up in the morning and say to yourself, the sky's blue, but then I think it's red. And then you're going to get upset with me because I think it's red. It's an expression of, that's my opinion. That's my lens. That's the scope that I'm looking at the world. If I see the world as red, you see it as blue, it's a controversy, but it doesn't mean that your blue is correct and mine is not. This is the problem in this country, people. Okay? We need to protect controversial ideas. It's got to be both sides of the spectrum, both sides of the fence. Excuse me. But limits do apply to free speech. It does not protect certain forms of expression such as inciting violence, defamation, obscenity, or true threats. Basically, as long as I'm not going to attack you physically or destroy something about you or defame you or what have you, I can call you any word I want in this world. I can say anything I want to say. I say the N word, I can say the W word or whatever word on this planet. It's about sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's the reality of freedom of speech. And also, if I want to talk about the government, against the government, or something bad about the government, or something nice about the government, it does not matter. That's my freedom of speech, First Amendment right. But the First Amendment right does not protect you from private entities. So, for example, if you work for a private corporation or a business, the First Amendment doesn't fall under that category, okay? So basically, if you work for a company, it's kind of like they're Fidel Castro and you're Cuba. That's how it works under the business. It's a dictatorship, and you have no rights of freedom of speech in a private corporation or company. All that the First Amendment right protects you from is from the government. You can speak whatever you want about the government, against the government, for the government, or what have you. That's the First Amendment right. And the government can't stop you or censor you from speaking whatever you want to speak. Like I said before, the U.S. Bill of Rights, the First Amendment, was adopted in 1791, and basically it's the public law to free speech. The court afterwards, to broaden the scope, the court further expanded free speech protections over time to include modern forms of communication like film, television, and the internet, hence social media. Now, social media is a big controversy today because during the Biden administration, there was allegations that basically freedom of speech on Facebook, for example, was violated. They were kicking people off of Facebook for talking against the government, or whether they're true comments or not, fact checking, and so on and so forth. People were going to Facebook jail and losing their platform on Facebook. A lot of people lost their accounts because of freedom of expression on Facebook or other social media platforms, to the point where certain individuals had to start their own platform. I think that's wrong, in my opinion. And, this is America, people. Wake up, because pretty soon we're going to be censored totally. Okay, if we don't wake up and smell the coffee. We need to voice our opinions, have the opportunity to speak whatever we want to speak, as long as we don't hurt anyone physically. Okay, like I said before, saying the N-word is not a crime. It's freedom of expression. Saying other words is not a crime, freedom of expression. Okay, I can call you whatever I want to call you. It's my opinion about you. And quite frankly, this is the beauty of this country. And I love America. I'm sorry, people, but I love the American flag. I love America. I love everything that America has to offer in this country. So, and I love my freedom of speech. And once again, I love USA and whatever it stands for. Yes, this country has its problems. This country has its ups and downs. This country has its bumps and boo-boos. Nothing's perfect. But I wouldn't be sitting here right now having this conversation if I wasn't in America. Okay? Yeah, there's race problems, black, white, Chinese, purple, whatever. But there's no country in the world where we could have these problems and basically, get away with it. And we have to respect that. We have to respect freedoms. Like I said before, a lot of platforms were basically censoring individuals that were speaking a one-sided topic, and that's not right. They were claiming that people that were speaking their opinions were insinuating false information, and I personally think nothing's false information. Information that you say online or in your opinion, or it's basically off your scope, off your vision, off your lens. And quite frankly, if I think the sky is red because of my belief or I'm a product of my environment, I came up with my conclusion of how I think and so on and so forth, that's totally correct, totally right. We have to understand a lot of universities out there, liberal universities, will teach one topic, one way of doing things, and will teach you a certain ideology where you're going to believe that the world thinks this way. And then they have conservative universities out there that'll teach you ideology that'll make you think a certain way. Are either universities wrong or right? No. Universities are used as a camping ground for free thought and free speech, and a way of developing yourself as a person. And quite frankly, It's not happening today. All this stuff that's going on in the country, and I'm not going to get into all that detail, is a big problem, because I cannot go somewhere and speak what I want without getting ridiculed. Well, ridicule is not a problem. Just like I'm sharing my opinion, you have a right to share your opinion right back at me, counter my opinion. And we can go back and forth and debate. And I enjoy that. So I believe that social media is something that needs to be developed even more as far as free speech is concerned. It should be an open platform for people to express themselves, whether they're conservative or liberal. It does not matter. We're all human beings here and adults. And there's no such thing as a hate speech. This really ticks me off when people say, "Oh, he's making a hate speech because he's part of this group or that group or this group." Hate speech is a form of freedom of speech. Okay, so if I do a protest and I sit up on a stage and I basically say, "I hate the way purple people dance." Okay, I hate the way purple people dance. So automatically I'm hating on purple people. No, that's just an opinion. You don't have to like someone. You're not obligated to like anyone. Yes, you have to respect me as a person, but you don't have to like me. The problem in this country is we're getting into a society where you're being forced to like somebody. You're being forced to like something. You're being forced to like a thing. And it's counterproductive to society, and it's counterproductive. It's creating wars against people. It's creating race wars. It's creating hate, more hate than we already have. And this whole labeling of things. People are so sensitive right now about labels. And I think this is the problem. And I think on social media, there should be more open discussion, more open thought, and more opportunity for expression. I like to hear people that hate purple people because I want to see what's on their mind. I like to hear people say, "I hate white people," or "I hate black people." I want to hear it all because this is how I develop my conclusion on who's right and who's wrong. Okay? And the word hate is a very strong word. However, you have a right to hate. You have a right to not like something. You have to respect the person or the something, but you're no obligation to like anyone. And this is the touchy-feely conversation that people don't want to have, and I'm having this today. Also, I understand freedom of speech harms people in certain ways. Basically, most importantly, harms their feelings. People's feelings get hurt. I understand. The bullying tactics and so on and so forth. But I still think that we need to fight against censorship, stop censorship, and basically, excuse me, counter speech and censorship, or should I say counter speech versus censorship. Basically, it's in the debate over how to combat objectionable ideas. There are two primary approaches: counter speech and censorship. Counter speech, aligned with traditional liberal defense of more speech, promotes responding to harmful ideas with more speech and education. Censorship involves restricting or suppressing objectionable content. Both strategies have arguments supporting their effectiveness, as well as significant critiques. The more speech argument is the counter speech. The perspective argues that the best way to defeat objectionable ideas is through open discourse in the marketplace of ideas. What's the open discourse in the marketplace of ideas? What's the easiest place to have a marketplace of ideas? It's social media. And if we shut that down, if we keep it one-sided, then it's called censorship. Social media is the best thing that has ever happened on this planet. The best thing it's opened up opportunities for education. It closed the digital divide. It closed the, like a lot of liberals like to say, equality and equity. Okay. So it closes that gap because now people can do things, communicate with people across the world and express themselves, okay, through social media. And now we have AI coming up. A lot of controversy on AI. But AI has helped close the educational gap, in my perspective, to the point where college professors don't need to make students write papers. Before, when I was in college, the night before, we would write papers, 5-page papers that were due a month prior. And I wouldn't hit it till the night before in the 90s. And I'll sit there and write a 5-page paper overnight and turn it in a 9 o'clock class the next morning. Now, AI writes the papers for you. So what are you going to do right now in college? What's the point of writing papers now when the professor's just going to read AI essays? The point I'm trying to make is right now, social media and AI is the educational gap that's going to be closed. Okay. And we talk about equity and equality. Well, this is it. This is it, people. This is it. Now, when I look at social media, and there's a lot of pages out there. You have conservative pages, and you have liberal pages. I look at all of them, and I subscribe to both sides. Because why? Because I'm open to free speech. I want to hear what Democrats are saying. I want to hear what Republicans are saying. I want to hear what independents are saying. And this is what helps me shape my perspective, my way of thinking. This is my personality. And I personally think that social media allows for critical thinking. Yes, it does. And we talk about, when we were talking about color, race. So, and we talk about marginalized groups, large marginalized groups in the past were censored. Their speeches were censored because there was no platform for them to express themselves in the past. Okay. After social media, a lot of this protective class group of people or minority, whatever that's supposed to mean, minority groups, and the talk about equity and equality, social media is the place to solve a lot of those problems. Not all, but a lot of those problems. Okay, as long as you have internet access. Now, a lot of places, internet's free. A lot of times you can go to a library, get on internet and get on social media or YouTube or any platform where you can voice your opinion. You could set up a platform like what I'm doing now at low cost. You can go on YouTube, learn things. My car door got jammed the other day. And I did not know what to do. My window was down. It won't come up and everything else. So I decided go on YouTube and type in my car, how do you fix a jammed car door on a GMC Sierra? And I watched the video and I fixed my car door. Wasn't perfect, but I got the car door to open and close, and I got the window to go up. It was a cheap way of not seeing a mechanic last minute. You know, it was on I think it was on a day that the auto shops were closed or what have you. Maybe it was a Sunday or something. But I had to do what I had to do, and YouTube saved the day. You know, something that someone would have to pay someone to fix last minute, I did it for free. How did I do it? Off of social media. And I installed a microwave one time through YouTube, an overhead microwave. You know, I was going to call someone's going to charge me $250 to install a microwave over my stove. And basically, I went on YouTube and I learned how to put up a microwave. So if people want their microwaves installed, call me and I'll do it for you. $50. But we can see the difference between 1990s, 1980s, and today, how advanced society has come through social media platforms, and how freedom of speech is very important at the moment, very important through social media. This is how countries come alive. This is how local government constituents, the people I call them, can voice their opinion nowadays, where before, prior to the 1990s, you can't do half the stuff that we do now on social media. Impossible, and get away with it. And quite frankly, with freedom of speech, we can do a lot of things in this world. A lot of countries got liberated. A lot of incumbents lost their seats in America that weren't doing their proper job. And right now, when we talk about the government today, the administration that's there today, I love it. I love the administration that's there today. A lot of people are disgruntled, or they're unhappy about the current administration federally. But whether you like the administration or not, which I do, I love the administration that's there now. I think they're doing an excellent job. And that's my opinion. Don't hate the player, hate the game. And basically, there's local governments that I don't like. There's administrations and local governments that I really don't feel comfortable with. But we have to respect the chair. So if we have a mayor of a city that we don't like, they won fair and square. And with that mayor that won fair and square, we have to respect the chair and respect the policies till the next song and dance comes. That's how a republic works, because we don't live in a democracy in this country. People have this notion that America is a democracy. It's a republic. To the republic of which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It never said to this democracy for which it stands. It says to this republic. So people have to understand, we live in a republic, okay? We elect people to represent us. That's a republic, okay? So basically, you cannot hate someone because of what they say about the current government. I love the current government. I'm happy with what the current government's doing. And basically, I did not like the last administration. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I have a right to my opinion. But when the last administration was in, I had to deal with it. I had to respect the chair. I had to respect the chair. And, when I see the current president goes up and speak in Congress, and you have one side of the room clapping, the other side of the room sitting down, holding up stupid signs, that's a total disrespect to the chair. Okay? Whether you like the president or not, he won fair and square. He won. So we have to respect the chair. Okay? And he has a right to say whatever he wants to say within the compounds of the First Amendment. So you cannot hate the guy, try to do bad things to the guy, and, let's let this man do his job. He has a few more years left, and the next term, the people will decide who the next person is going to be. But at the moment, we have to respect the chair. And that's flat out truth, people. And we cannot use censorship in society, okay? We cannot censor people. The people are the people. And basically, there's a lot of arguments about censorship. And, there's criticisms about counter speech I already discussed. There's a lot of arguments about censorship. Liberals will say it prevents harm. It protects vulnerable groups, whatever that's supposed to mean. And it creates safer spaces. This is the liberal thought of censorship and why people should be censored. But the other side looks at censorship as a risk of abuse of power, which I believe in-group polarization, which I believe in. And there's a thin line between free speech and censorship. Okay, so the question here is, do we create censorship for the protection of society, or do we leave it a open playing field for everyone to say whatever they want to say? This is the question, the $1 million question. I'd rather have the open playing field and say whatever I want to say, and not be confined to my opinions. And basically, in closing, we talked about basically today social media and how the role is played with the freedom of speech. We talked a little bit about AI. We talked about the playing fields. We talked about equity and equality, and all this is tied in to freedom of speech and social media. Back to the TikTok story I told you guys in the beginning. That's a difficult topic because the government doesn't want a Chinese company to run TikTok, but at the same time, on the other perspective, that's a form of violation of freedom of speech. So if a Chinese company wants to sell a product in the United States, are they allowed to do something? Are they allowed to, or they're not? Or is it some products are allowed, certain products are not? What is it? That's a difficult, it's a gray area, people, gray area. Do we stop TikTok from operating unless they become an American company? Do we stop TikTok from operating as a Chinese company? Who's to say when an American company buys it that behind the scenes is being operated by the Chinese? Who's to say that? Okay? Because an American company can easily buy TikTok and put and make the Chinese company beneficiaries. So it's a gray area for everyone to think about. And basically, that concludes my show. Now moving forward, every Tuesday evenings at 7, we're going to have Hamilton Rodriguez from The Outsiders. The name of the show is The Outsiders, and we'll be here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Stay tuned in, and as we create the show topics, as we move along with the show every week, we're going to improve and progress and have guests on the show and so on and so forth. Thank you, people. Thank you for your time. I love America. I love USA. And I love the flag. And this